Guys, so welcome to our channel. So this is actually a concrete molding factory. It's a very local place, and what they do here essentially is to make and mold rings, concrete rings for well, for covers, for drainages, and all sorts of things. And I will be talking to the owner and the CEO, who is actually in charge of running this. It's a very young person, so that you can learn one or two things on how he started and what it looks like. So, in few minutes, this is actually one thing I find interesting about this place is that he actually started from his neighborhood, in fact, in front of his house. So it's because it requires space, and this is something to maximize what resources you have on your side. So these are actually, it's kind of very interesting because it's a niche in block making. It's another interesting side that people can actually look into and find something to do with it. So I'll be interviewing him now. This is the owner. You can see him is looking young and has strength. He's not only into this. One thing I find interesting about him is also a farmer. He's also very much into farming. So let's meet you. Kí lorúkọ yín? What's the name?
My name is Moyosore Muideen.
Okay.
I was born in Ilorin,
Okay.
Kwara State.
Okay.
So what brought me
Business.
into this business? My father is a farmer
Okay.
right from the beginning. I do follow him to the farm, do all sorts of things in the farm. So as time goes on, I gained admission into Kwara State Polytechnic. After the
The tree.
ND program, I think of what to do as a young guy so as not to waste my time. So I decided in order to be independent, so I decided to go into that farming work because I study agric engineering. So I decided so as to stay on my own, I decided to go into farming work. As time goes on, I still think of what to do in which people can benefit from. So there was a man in our
Area. Farm.
area who is into
Something like this.
something like this. I try to mingle with the man, follow him to work, do some things with him. During this time, I now know that I have interest in this work.
Okay.
So I decided to put up some capitals and trying with 20 rings. I
Okay.
started the business.
Okay.
Trying
When
to,
was that? Which year is that?
that was 2000, I started following the man, that was 2017.
Okay.
So I started my home business with this ring 2019,
Okay.
20,
Okay.
20. That was last year.
Okay.
But I was into agriculture. That was 2017.
Okay.
I was into agriculture,
What kind of agriculture do you do? What?
cocoa farming,
Okay.
to be
Okay.
specific.
Okay.
Cocoa farming. I do cocoa farming.
Okay.
So that was how I started. So I thank God, since when have started, people have started patronizing
You?
me for rings and fancy blocks. As you can see, that is figure 8.
Okay.
Kept, I don't have any now.
Okay.
I have it in the other shop.
Okay. Okay.
So I think this is a new site.
Okay.
So there are a lot of buildings which are to be erected. Yeah, so my people may need rings for
Okay.
their well,
Okay.
rings for bridge,
Covered.
covers for rings,
Okay.
So I started the business because I think this is what we need here.
In this
So
area,
that is how I started
the
this
business.
business.
Thank you very much. Did you learn this thing? Do someone actually need to learn it? Like you said, you were there for probably like 2 years between this thing. So if I want to go into it now, do I need to go and learn it, or if I have the capital now, I can find somebody who can do it for me? Which one is better?
As we all know that we have to have the knowledge of something before going into
Into
it.
it.
You have to learn this thing, to
Okay.
know the aggregate of sand to be used,
Okay.
cement to be used,
Okay.
stone to be used, because it consists of three materials,
Okay.
which are stone, sand, and cement, and everything with the aggregate. So with this, if you don't learn this, you can't know the aggregate of the sand to be used with the aggregate of the cement to be used. So you need to learn this thing before you can go into it.
Okay. Okay, good. Because what I'm asking is that I always see one Baba here who usually do the major work. Ehen. And I'm like, okay, if someone have someone like that Baba now, is it, of course, one might have surface knowledge of it. Do you get it now? But basically, the manual, a lot of people might be interested in this, like someone who owns block making factory. Might not be the one doing this thing, but that's why I'm asking, can someone set up something like this without even touching the whole thing?
As you can see, I'm into this business,
Mm.
but I don't mold it
With
by
yourself.
myself
Okay.
because I'm fully into agriculture. I
Okay.
go to farm, though I know how to mold it,
Okay.
but I hire this man
Okay.
just to mold it for me because I'm such a busy person. So that is the reason someone can raise up capital and hire people
To work for it.
to work for him. So just to have the knowledge.
Okay. Okay.
So that is just it.
Thank you. Another question I want to ask is like, to start now, let's say I've learned it now. What do you think can be the capital I need to start something like this?
Because
Like, okay, when you started, like how much, how was the capital like?
for someone to start this business, the things you need to have,
Okay.
you need mold, which is not here now. It is in the second shop. You need mold, survey, head pan, rod, which is that.
Okay.
You can see it over there. This rod,
Okay. This thing.
yeah, this thing,
Okay.
this thing,
Okay.
and the materials
Okay.
to be used.
Okay.
So for someone to set up this business like this, at least for a beginner, you must have like 250, 300,000.
Okay. 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 That's interesting. And another thing, what has been your how often do people patronize you? Because there are some things that you embark on, but the problem is that mi rẹ̀ ń tó fẹ́ rà ó ti sú mi jà kò sáà ń ṣe lẹ̀ ní ààrẹ ènìyàn rà. Do people actually patronize you?
The the time I started this business, for like 3, 4 months after starting the business, I didn't see anyone to patronize this business.
Wow.
I was like, if I had known, I would have
Venture.
invest my money on another business. But as time goes on, I started seeing people
Okay.
patronizing me, and started coming to the extent that I even have a man who is being sponsored by some Muslim brothers. The man will come, buy some rings, like 5 with one cover, doing this for every mosque in the surroundings.
Okay.
in our surroundings.
Okay.
5 rings, 1 cover. The man come oven and oven.
Often.
I'm
You,
now
you are now satisfied at least
satisfied
that
with that.
someone you have a big client.
Yes.
That's another interesting. The other question I would love to ask is that how frequent do you make this thing? Is it that once, like how many do you make? Like is it per week or in a month, or once it's done, tó bá ti rà tán náà, that's when you make another one?
No, because for this ring, before it can be strong,
Okay.
takes like 2 to 3 weeks
Okay.
before it can
Be
be
that very strong too.
ready,
Okay,
be strong
to be sold.
to be sold. I mold ring.
Okay.
Once I have
You have customers.
yes, once
Okay.
I have customers,
Mm.
then I replace it with another one. We are in the rainy season,
Okay.
so
Okay.
the rate at which people
Buy rings.
buy rings is less,
Okay. Okay.
has reduced.
Okay.
So that is the reason why I've not
Mold another
mold
one.
another rings.
Okay.
So that is the reason.
Okay.
So I'm
Okay.
now,
Now, how much does one cost now? One.
for now, due to the
The market.
low demand,
Okay.
we sell ring at 8,500 naira.
Okay.
But now there is a discount.
Okay.
If we are having a higher
Demand.
we can
Yeah, reduce
sold
it.
at 8,000, 8,200.
Okay. Okay. Like on one now. Let's be frank with ourselves
Yes.
now. Like how much do you make again on one? At least after Tebati your everything. Like on one ring, you at least I make like how much?
Not too much gain on this ring,
Okay.
but the gain there is that some little extras
Okay.
remain. We use it for fancy blocks, which is our gain.
Okay. And this one?
This one is blocked.
Is for what?
It is used for foundation.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
It can also be used, as you can see, it is very strong.
Like Saviour pillars.
Yes.
Okay.
Saviour pillars. As you can see, it is very strong. It can be used for foundation.
Okay.
To lay foundation
Of a building.
Okay. So
and do people buy it too?
People buy it.
Okay.
I do sell it.
Like how much is one like this now?
For this one, as you can see, it is
Very
10 times the strength of a block.
Okay.
So it is sold for 350, 400.
One.
Per one.
Okay. That's interesting. So you've not told me how much do you make on like one? Let's just like okay.
After
the whole
after the whole strength and the estimate, at least we make like 500 on a ring.
Okay. Okay. Ah. Ṣé kò wálẹ̀ wá pọ̀ ju the stress and the this thing?
That is the reason why I said that is our gain.
Okay.
Fancy block,
Okay.
kept, those things, pillars.
Okay.
That is where we have our.
Is it not even preferable to be doing the fancy blocks only and stop this thing? Because I think it's capital intensive. It takes capital.
Yeah.
Like you do something of 8,000 naira and you now make like 500 naira on it, or let's say you make 1,000 naira. So that's why I'm saying that instead of, why don't one major in all these fancy blocks? So why don't one major on fancy blocks? What do you think?
As you can see, fancy block. People want to make a fancy block. One has to.
So these are actually the fancy blocks. These are actually the fancy. He has another place where he makes some of these things. So yeah, I'm listening now.
As for the fancy block, when you want to go into fancy block, you have only sand.
Okay.
To put
together.
But it won't be that strong.
Okay.
And the materials, after you have made a ring, the leftover can be used with another materials for another ring. So we have to use it for the
for
fancy block.
fancy
That
block.
is why we make the fancy block from the remnant
Okay,
of the
of
ring.
this. Okay, like this fancy blocks now. Abi? Like these fancy blocks now. Like how much does one cost now? Like this
That
one.
for this figure 8, it
Uh,
is sold for 300 naira.
okay, 300 now.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So let's wrap it up and for you now.
Yeah.
What has been the encouragement? Like, okay, this thing because it obviously it will reach a time like you'll be discouraged about some things. So kí ni ó jẹ́ bí ìwúrí tó ń mú yín sọ pé okay, this thing let me keep pushing on so especially with construction.
Yeah. What has been making me putting up and gathering all my effort in order to
Do this.
do this is that since I've started, I've been seeing people, despite the gain I made is very low,
Okay.
but I've been seeing people patronizing. At times, I have like 30 supplies,
Okay.
20 supplies in a day.
Okay.
So at least from that, I think I made something, I can
Exactly.
have something
Appreciable.
into my home pocket.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that is the reason why I keep doing this. And I think this thing made me to it didn't make me I do
Idle.
I
Okay.
do
Okay. So you're actually doing something.
do something.
Instead of
So
sitting
at
down.
least, because as you can see, farming work is a season work
Okay.
in Nigeria here, and I don't have much capital
Okay.
to go into
See
save one.
farming.
So that is the reason why I think if I during the idle time I can see something else to do instead of sitting down at home and doing something else.
You are also into farming. You are also into this. What do you for youths that are like you? You know, there's always this problem of the reason why I've not done is that kò sẹ́ni tí ò wù láti ṣe owó ní gbogbo ẹ̀ jàre. You understand? They will tell you that it's money. Money is everything. That it's not. If you have money, you can do anything. Whoever is talking about it is because he has money. How did you find it easy to get capital for this? And what's your advice for youths that are complaining about capital?
That is what I've said earlier. I've said this earlier before. I said when I finished ND
Program.
I think of a way just to build up myself, because I'm a person who hates just sitting down or asking people for money for this thing and that. So I think of a way. So my father was a farmer, so I think I learned much from him. So that is the reason why I decided to go into farming work. From this I raised some capital. After that capital, I think of another thing to do with the capital instead of to lavish the money. So I set up this business. So after setting up this business, I think this business also is fetching me another money.
Another source of
that is how I started this business.
Okay.
So the other youth, what I have for them is that they shouldn't be idle. They should think with their brain, find something to do with their life instead of doing rubbish around. And the most especially our rich people, wealthy people in our societies. Not only government can do everything.
Yeah.
We have many people who are rich, who have this money to help.
Yeah.
They should try to help we youth so that we won't be going to rubbish things they shouldn't find. A idle hand is a devil workshop. They should try to establish us. So that is the major point I want to. We shouldn't rely most on government. Government can't do everything. Government didn't see us all.
Exactly.
So that is it.
Exactly.
They should try to help we youth. We need their help.
Exactly.
They should help us.
Exactly.
There are some things we youth, we are out there. we have brain, we have many things, we have the power, we have the strength to do some things, but to raise this capital is a problem.
No problem.
If my father wasn't a farmer, how will I have started this business? How will I raise the money to start this business? It is because my father is a farmer. My first step is to go into that farming. That is where I raise this money. There are some people out there who don't have the opportunity to go into that. So where will they raise that capital? So that is my
advice. Okay, another thing I want to, what is the major challenge in this business now that you have been doing? Kí ni ó jẹ́ mo pé problem tá máa ń ní jù?
To talk of that challenges,
It's not easy.
It's not easy because these materials we are using, you have to know the quality ones.
Okay.
Last year, I mowed like 22 rings. I think like 15 collapsed.
Wow.
Like 15, I shot like 15 rings.
Wow.
Last year. The sand, it was so poor that, so this give me a setback. Last year that this business
won't I quit
this business? But I now think, because I heard of a man I've read that said, I forget how it, but the man have some challenges. At the end of the day, he had the money. So anything people is doing, you must have challenges. So I now have the faith that this is my own challenges. That is how I now study the materials I'm using. I later detected that it was the sand I used that has fault. So that since then, if I wanted to take sand, I will inspect it very well to make sure that it won't have problem, because I'm the one to be sought. If I have a supply of ring, on the way the ring collapse, I'm the one at fault. I have to supply another one. So that's where the problem is. That's the challenges we are facing on this business.
Thank you very much. So what do you think, where do you see yourself with this business probably in the next 2 or 3 years? Are you thinking of expanding, or you still want to continue like this?
With this business, as you can see, this year everything is just
dry.
It's just dry, because I'm financing this business with the money
from the farm
I raised from the farm, and cocoa this year
has not been good.
So I've been thinking of expanding this business, having a block industry, because in our area we haven't have any block industry. So that was my intention of having a factory, block factory, fancy block factory, rings factory, but things have not been easy this time around. So if I can see someone to help me, I'm ready. I'm very ready. But I'm still looking forward to that.
Like how much do you think you need now? Because this video anybody can see, like, okay, let's partner with this guy. Let's see if we know what he's doing, and let's try it. So like, how much do you think you will need, and what do you intentionally want to do with it?
As you can see, I still have some money, but it is not up to the business. And I hate my money to be idle. Just sit it down somewhere
in the bank
doing nothing. If not, I would have buy the engine, kept keep it in the
Okay.
house,
Okay.
but I don't want my money to be idle. If I can see like 500,000,
Okay.
the business is done.
Okay. 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 All right, guys, thank you very much. You've heard him. This is Mr. Moyosore Muideen, right?
Yes.
From Ilorin. But this is Ile-Ife anyway. So this is an emerging community. It's a very small community of rural dwellers, and I've been seeing this business. I've been seeing him doing this for a while, and decided to try to have a chat with him, especially small and young guys from local community like us who are doing something interesting like this. If you have any question, I'll drop his number as well. If you want to learn anything, okay, are you willing? If there anybody, because anybody might see this, are you willing to take anybody, answer anybody's question about this?
No problem.
Okay.
Anybody can call me.
Okay.
I will answer all their questions.
Okay. Thank you very much. God bless you, sir.
Amen.